What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. Hey, before we get this video started, I left a link in the description to my Cash App. For those of you that don't know, Cash App is an app. You can use it like a bank account. A lot of people really like it because you can essentially have like a debit card, and it's not really that hard to get, and you can have a bank account, and it's a really, really useful thing. I've been using the Cash App for about 3 or 4 years now. And a lot of my stuff I do for my business is on the side. I process payments with Cash App. But the really cool thing about signing up for it is that if you sign up and you send a friend $5, they send you $5. So get a group of your friends, just start a little sending chain. You guys can all get $5 and go get yourself something nice. So for today's video, what I'm going to talk about is how I actually slowly quit full-time driving and how I eventually scaled down. For those of you that don't know, I run my own advertisement agency. I also do a lot of acting on the side, and I've had the blessings, that was a weird word to use. I've had the opportunity to live like a very entrepreneurial life and have a lot of financial freedom. And so I want to talk to you guys how Uber really was the catalyst for me getting to where I'm at. So what I'm going to do is give you guys like a scale of where I started and how I scaled down my life to where now if I do drive, I'm really doing like 3 to 5 hours a week at the most. Sometimes I don't even drive for like weeks. So I wanted to really give you guys some good info on that. So my journey started, if you've listened to any of my other videos, I started driving when I was 21. I'm 25 now, so it's been about 4.5 years. And originally I started because I was buying a new car and I wanted to help with the payments by driving for Uber and Lyft. I had a buddy that had done Lyft. He told me it was awesome. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. And the other reason was at the time I was just working a job I hated and had no real direction in life. I don't have a college education. So for me, like, I didn't know where I was headed. Like I didn't have this idea since I was 5 of what I wanted to do. So I decided I wanted to pursue acting based on, I just had kind of a very fortunate story where I'd ended up on a film set and they gave me a role. And so after that, I was like, okay, I want to actually go for this stuff. So I started driving Uber and Lyft to be able to quit my job, pursue acting, and help pay my new car payment. It went really, really good. The first year I was pretty much a full-time Uber driver. A lot of times I was driving 70 hours a week and occasionally even more than that. Rarely was I doing less than like 55 hours. And what I would do is I would wake up and I would submit for as many film gigs all over the nation as I could. And then I would drive all day. And if there was a local audition, I would go audition. And then if they got back to me and said they wanted me to like videotape an audition, I would go home, videotape the audition, go right back out on Uber and Lyft. Like I was really, really grinding for that whole year. I drove all over the nation for different film gigs to do while I was young, and a lot of times it was just a student film. But then what I would do is on my off time in between sets, I would drive Lyft in the city that I traveled to. Uber won't let you do that, but Lyft will. It's really awesome. You don't even have to tell them. Like, just show up and turn your app on. I've driven in Miami. I've driven like seriously in the craziest places with Lyft from different film sets I was working in. Philly, Chicago, I believe, and a lot of other places too. It's been a while, sorry. So I did that for like really more like 2 years actually, where I was kind of doing full-time driving, full-time acting. And for me, I started really thinking, because they say it takes the average actor 10 years to break out. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be an Uber driver for 10 years who's like barely making it each week. Like I want to soar higher than that, right? And so that was like my inspiration to start my own business. So what I did is I scaled back my hours. I scaled back my hours to about 15 to 20 hours of Uber and Lyft per week. I took a commission-only sales job to make some good money, and I started doing really well. In my first week, I did very, very strong with it. But the thing that was important was that I was able to do it because of Uber and Lyft. most people I know will never take a commission only job because of the, there's no security. You don't know that you're going to be able to pay your bills. You really don't. But if you have something like Uber and Lyft, what it allows you to do is take risks that you would have never been able to really justify. So I've pursued so many things over the last 4 years, and I will say most of them failed. But I never really was hurt by the failures because I had Uber and Lyft to back me up. And it allowed me to finally find things that I was actually like incredibly passionate about, but that I could do well. So I worked that sales job for probably 3 months, made really good money, and again, used an Uber and Lyft on the side. And then I got the idea for this advertisement agency, this digital business, this online business. And so I then scaled down to about 10 hours of Uber and Lyft per week. And I started just going crazy with this business model. And in my first week, I made pretty good money with it. So I was like, okay, I can probably cut down to 5 hours per week. I ended up, I ended up actually increasing my hours back up to 15 to 20 hours per week because I was actually booking one client per week on my business through Uber and Lyft. Again, if you've watched my videos before, I talk about the power of networking through Uber and Lyft because it's unmatched. It is unmatched how well you can make connections with people. And so I basically then was at about 15 to 20 hours per week. I built up a client base, and then I actually got to a really healthy point and I stopped really Ubering at all. And looking back at it, there was some really important keys that I took and steps that I took to get where I was able to get today. And I really believe that just about anybody that's like really utilizing Uber and Lyft, like if you're not utilizing this to help you start something or hustle out your dream, I'm not going to say you're doing it the wrong way, because if you're happy, you're happy. But like, why not shoot for the stars? Why not take risks? Why not take chances if you have pretty much the greatest security blanket you could want? But what does this really look like? I had a lot of times where I was doing 14-hour days out of necessity. A lot of times I would invest so much into my business in a week that then I would have a huge bill to pay in like 3 days, and I would have to work 3 14s in a row to pay that bill. So a lot of these things, like, you've got to have grit and you've got to really be willing to hustle, but like, this is the greatest tool to make that dream happen. So for me, like, my story is that in a matter of 4 years, I went from a young, like, clueless guy that had no idea what he wanted to do in life to basically someone who has their own business and they use all their free time to pursue their passion, acting. And so for me, it's been such an incredible journey because I watched how I slowly took these steps, and it really was all because of Uber and Lyft and ride sharing. It was me starting to realize that there was more ways to make money, that there was connections out there, that every day you can meet someone who can change your life or make you more money. And it's just a really incredible tool, So my first year looked like me just being really sporadic. It was just acting. My second year was pretty much the same, but I started doing some sales stuff. My third year, it was like half a year of a sales job. Well, really, it was like 3 or 4 months. And then really going into my third and fourth year, I was able to start a business that could take over my finances entirely. So what I'm saying is this really is possible, but find a plan and scale into it. Start low, start doing mostly Uber, but then watch as you slowly do less and less hours on Uber. It'll really transform your life. And it's really kind of awesome too, because it worked out like perfect in the timing for me, because I'm the type of person where like every 3 years I get burnt out on what I'm doing, right? So every 3 years I want a new adventure, I want a new thing to do, and I'm really blessed to say that Uber and Lyft helped me get there. I really believe full-heartedly it can help all of you guys get there too. Just get a set plan and figure out how to scale down those hours. So that's what I got for you guys today. That is my story on how I scaled down and how I went from being like a 50-hour-a-week driver to really like a 5-hour-a-week driver. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the Cash App link I left in the description Subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up. I got a lot more stuff coming your way, and I hope you guys have a killer week. Go make that money, go get those tips, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. See you later, guys.